Welcome to Turner Classic Movies, open all night with a tribute to the late Billy Wilder. First, Ray Milland succumbs to an addiction to alcohol in The Lost Weekend. Then Fred MacMurray and Barbara Stanwyck combined their criminal minds in Double Indemnity. And Detective Robert Stevens turns to cocaine between cases in The Private Life of Sherlock Holmes. Turner Classic Movies is high on the films of Billy Wilder all night.
I absolutely adore you.
Shut up and deal.
I am big. It's the pictures that got small.
You know you can't wear red to the Olympus Ball.
Can't I? I'm going to. This is 1852, Dublin. 1852, not the Dark Ages. Girls don't have to simp around in white just because they're not married.
My first memory of Bette Davis is of a powerful image burning on a small screen. When I was a girl in the 60s, I'd come home from school and I'd turn on the old movie channel and plunk down on the couch with my girlfriends and take lessons from Bette Davis on how to scare the hell out of a man.
All I know is that kid sister of mine came back here again last night, and nobody's seen her since. And get this straight. If I find out that you or anybody else has laid a finger on her...
You'll what?
I'll get you. Even if I have to crawl back from my grave to do it.
Some 30 years later, when I received the first annual Bette Davis Lifetime Achievement Award at Boston University, I was very, very, very honored. To even be mentioned in the same breath as Bette Davis is sort of a dream come true. For me, Bette Davis stood out from other actresses because of her signal audacity. I have only a sketchy understanding of the studio system as it existed in the 30s and 40s, how studios owned stars, how Miss Davis defied Warner Brothers in her determination for better scripts, and how her career suffered at times for that defiance. But the audacity I'm talking about is the bravery of her work.
You dirty swine! I never cared for you, not once. I was always making a fool of you. You bored me stiff. I hated you. It made me sick when I had to let you kiss me. I only did it because you begged me. You hounded me. You drove me crazy. And after you kissed me, I always used to wipe my mouth. Wipe my mouth!
Bette Davis just seemed willing. She even had an appetite for parts that were conventionally unappealing. She changed the requirement that actresses in the movies invariably be likable or attractive. She lifted the veil of appropriate behavior in women to expose what was scary, unexpected, or ugly. In other words, to do what was appropriate for the character.
God, torture me. God, torture me. You like making fun of me, don't you? You think it's fun making fun of me, don't you?
Bette Davis was always a little brighter, smarter, sometimes deviously so, a little more ambitious, single-minded, and for a small woman, she just stood a little taller than anyone else in the room.
Dare turn your back on Elizabeth of England? You dare?
As a little girl, it made me feel good. It made me feel significant to watch her.
My darling, you're crying. Oh, I'm such a fool. Such an old fool. These are only tears of gratitude. An old maid's gratitude for the crumbs off it. Don't talk like that. You see, no one ever called me darling before.
When I was first starting out as a young actress, Betty Davis wrote me a letter. And I almost died. In it, she said a very dear thing. She said she was proud of me, like we were related, and that I reminded her of herself when she was younger, and that she hoped we'd have the chance to work together someday. As far as I'm concerned, we have been working together because Betty Davis has been working her inspiration on me since those days when I was a little girl. Along with all the actresses of my generation, I am a direct beneficiary of Betty Davis's will and determination.
Some will wind up in the short end, but not me, baby. I know all the angles, and I think I'm smart enough to keep one step ahead of them.
Because of her hard-fought achievements, we all had it a little easier. For Turner Classic Movies and for Betty Davis, I'm Meryl Streep.
Put on your party hat and join us all day and night for our birthday tribute to Betty Davis. Friday beginning at 6 a.m. Eastern, only on Turner Classic Movies.
Hi, I'm Robert Osborne. Thanks so much for joining us. We've set aside our previously scheduled programming right now to pay tribute to a true legend of Hollywood, Billy Wilder. Writer, director, producer, wit, nonagenarian, and as close to a genius as anyone in Hollywood could rightfully be called. Billy Wilder passed away last Wednesday at the age of 95, leaving behind a truly amazing body of work. He had a hand in over 60 films in his 52-year career, and he did it all, working in nearly every film genre, except Westerns. Never a Western, because he didn't like horses. Despite the variety of stories he told in his films, all his movies contained a razor-sharp wit and a truthfulness that made most of them as relevant today as when they were first released. Billy Wilder's films had legs, great endurance, which is especially remarkable when you consider that at the time he made them, most movies were intended to be shown just a few times, then replaced by another film and soon forgotten. But it's difficult to ever forget a Billy Wilder film. Each struck a chord as perceptive, as caustic, and thoroughly entertaining as any current box office release, most of them more so. The timelessness of his films has a great deal to do, I think, with Wilder's whole approach to filmmaking. For Billy, the essential ingredients were the story and the development of characters. In a Billy Wilder movie, you won't see elaborate camera moves, action sequences, or special effects. Such things he felt only got in the way of good storytelling. Some directors do those things, he said, only to impress mediocre critics. Billy Wilder didn't care about critics. He just wanted to tell good stories. And we have one of them for you right now.
Turner Classic Movies is open all night with a Billy Wilder memorial salute. First, Barbara Stanwyck has a seductive take on murder in Double Indemnity. Then Colin Blakely keeps a secret diary about the private life of Sherlock Holmes. And James Cagney's career is coming apart at the seams in 1, 2, 3. Turner Classic Movies counts down the films of Billy Wilder all night.
This is your ticket to Turner Classic Movies. Now playing. Man, what a guy. 24 hours a day. More than 350 movies per month. Now playing. The brand new viewer's guide to Turner Classic Movies. With easy-to-read movie schedules, along with highlights of TCM's monthly star and director tributes, film festivals, and weekly showcases. Plus behind-the-scenes cover stories by our own Robert Osborne. Just call 1-800-TCM-1002. And for only $11.95 per year, you'll be able to look up when your favorite movies are on Turner Classic Movies. It's now playing. So call 1-800-TCM-1002 or send check or money order to Now Playing. P.O. Box 420934, Palm Coast, Florida. 32142-0934. And for only $11.95 per year, get your ticket to movie heaven from Turner Classic Movies. Allow 6 to 12 weeks for delivery.
I'm Robert Osborne, and thanks so much for joining us. We've set aside our previously scheduled programming right now to pay tribute to the late, great Billy Wilder, who passed away last week at the age of 95. As Wilder told director Cameron Crowe in the recent book Conversations with Billy Wilder, he said, "I don't make cinema, I make movies." Billy felt it was like the difference between a bound book and a serialized story in a magazine. While a book is forever, he felt his movies were more like magazine articles, meant to entertain only for the moment. But I'd really have to argue with him on that point. No one made more movies that are likely to be around forever than Billy Wilder. He was also a man with a matchless record, 20 Oscar nominations, and he won 6 Academy Awards, including 3 that he received in 1960 alone for The Apartment. And in 1987, he was honored with the Irving G. Thalberg Award for his body of work as a producer. He was respected by his peers. His name on a marquee became every bit as potent as that of any star, and he was one of Hollywood's most popular citizens. Everybody enjoyed being around Billy Wilder because he was a genuinely funny man. Despite his popularity and success, though, the business still turned its back on him. For the last 21 years of his life, he sat idly by, not because he didn't have ideas for films, but because no one would give him the chance to make them. I mean, think of the wonderful Billy Wilder movies we might have had if the fates had been a little kinder. But we can all be very grateful for the work he did do, which will hopefully be seen for generations to come. Here's another terrific film directed by the best of the best, Mr. Billy Wilder.